Kenya is a country in eastern Africa, bordering the Indian Ocean and Lake Victoria. Neighboring countries include Ethiopia, Somalia, South Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda. Unique Kenyan physiography, from the highlands to glaciers, supports abundant and varied wildlife of scientific and economic value. It's the landscape many people imagine when they think of Africa. Kenya is located in East Africa. Its territory rises from the low coastal plains on the Indian Ocean to mountains and plateaus at its center. Most Kenyans live in the highlands, where Nairobi, the capital, sits at an altitude of 5,500 feet, 1,700 kilometers. Kenya has made significant political and economic reforms that have contributed to sustained economic growth, social development, and political sustainability gains over the past decade. However, its key development challenges still include poverty, inequality, transparency, and accountability, climate change, continued weak private sector investments, and the vulnerability of the economy to internal and external shocks. Kenya ushered in a new political and economic government system with the passage of a new constitution in 2010 that introduced a bicameral legislative house, devolved county government, and a constitutional tenure judiciary and electoral body. The first election under this new system was held in 2013, the following presidential election held in August of 2022. From 2015 to 2019, Kenya's economy achieved broad-based growth averaging 4.7% per year, significantly reducing poverty, which fell to an estimated 34.4% at the $1.90 a day line in 2019. In 2020, the COVID-19 shock hit the economy hard, disrupting international trade and transport, tourism, and urban services activity in particular. Fortunately, the agricultural sector, a cornerstone of the economy, remained resilient in Kenya, helping to limit the contraction of the GDP by only 0.3%, a very notable cause for Kenya's overall growth. In 2021, the economy staged a very strong recovery. Although some sectors, such as tourism, remained under pressure, GDP growth is projected at 5% in 2022, and the poverty rate has resumed its trend decline after rising earlier in the pandemic. Although the economic outlook is broadly positive, it's subject to evaluated uncertainty, including through Kenya's exposure as a net fuel, wheat, and fertilizer importer to the global price impacts of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. World Bank support to Kenya's pandemic response includes emergency funding to strengthen medical services and reduce the spread of the virus, as well as budget support to help close the fiscal financing gap while supporting reforms that help advance the government's inclusive growth agenda. In addition to aligning the country's long-term development agenda to Vision 2030, the president outlined the, quote, Big Four development priority areas for his final term as president, prioritizing manufacturing, universal healthcare, affordable housing, and food security. Kenya is one of the world's magnificent wildlife destinations. Its parks, reserves, and private conservancies are home to some of the highest and most diverse populations of wildlife on the entire planet. Traveling across vast landscapes, bathed in soft morning light, your African dreams unfold before your eyes. Kenya is one of the best places to live across the African continent. The truth is that most people, even in Africa, dream to live in Kenya. Surprisingly, every other person across the East African countries dreams to visit and somewhat live in this great country. The official currency of Kenya is the Kenyan shilling, often abbreviated KES. The US dollar is also widely accepted and is easily exchanged into Kenyan shillings. US dollars are only accepted if they're not torn and are not more than 10 years old. Smaller denominations are difficult to use or exchange. If you enjoyed this video about Kenya or have questions of your own, leave a comment below and like and subscribe to our channel.